Japoma Radio. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and then on Twitter. Japoma Radio GH. Download the app on the Google Play Store on your phone. YouTube is King of Kings Media. The headlines. Speaker meets Council of State ahead of resubmission of e-levy to Parliament. Staff of 3 states institution to be prosecuted for misappropriating COVID-19 funds. 4 children drowned in Volta Lake. There's some more coming up on your way. I am Josephine Ati. Details shortly. Welcome back. The news in details. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has led mediation talks between the leadership of the majority and minority causes in Parliament to resolve the prevailing differences. The meeting, which also involved leading members of the Council of State, was aimed to prevent any further violence in the chamber as the e-levy bill is set to be resubmitted to the House for debate and approval. Addressing the meeting, the chairman of the Council of State, Nana Otu Sribo, called on the Speaker to appreciate the challenges posed by the young nature of the current Parliament and work to resolve the close relationship between the two divers of the House. Godfred Yeboah-Dame, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, has described the petition by the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) to Commonwealth Secretariat as misleading, hypocritical, and an attempt to undermine Ghana's sovereignty. Speaking to court, the correspondent in Accra, Dame said, "I find it to be very hypocritical and misleading. All the government has sought to do is that the NDC and its officers are brought to book. I will not be deterred at all in my quest to ensure that there is accountability for the people of Ghana. The case that we have investigated and the action we have filed in court are on account of solid evidence that we have unearthed through painstaking investigation." The NDC, in its petition to the Secretary General of the Commonwealth Secretariat, contacted that the government is using the judicial to intimidate and harass its members in the sharp contradiction of the terms of good governance. Former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusa Fuseni, has urged the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, to preside over the parliamentary sittings when controversial matters are before the House. According to Fuseni, this will prevent the first or second deputy speakers from attempting to vote, a move that triggered self-court in the chamber late last year. In an interview, the former ranking member of Parliament Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee tasked the Business Committee of the House to identify when Bagbin will be available to preside over sittings. His comment after a recent move by the Council of State to broker peace talks between the leadership of Parliament over the irreconcilable rift over the e-levy. Away from that, the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, IAA, Dr. Eric Odro Osei, has revealed that staff of 3 state institutions will soon be prosecuted for misappropriating COVID-19 funds. According to him, the agency is collaborating with Economic and Organized Crime Office, ECO, to fast-track the process for the prosecution. Dr. Odro Osei was speaking at the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition Public Forum on the accountability gap in COVID-19 response of Ghana. He said in 2021, they started receiving internal audit report from the internal auditors as far as the COVID-19 expenditure audit is concerned. We started reviewing them in 2021, and some of the expenditures areas are revealing. Areas where we have challenges, we do a follow-up. Those we think have criminal consequences, we would work with ECO to prosecute them. I'm not allowed to advocate what we are doing or the level of prosecution, he disclosed. We take a break. Please stay tuned. Now moving on with some local news. 4 children have been confirmed dead after drowning in the Volta Lake at Konkoma, a suburb of Yeji in the Pro East district of the Bono East region. The deceased are Ibrahim Abdul Kadri, 8, Mubarak Aziz, 12, Aliu Nasari Mayachi, 6, and Umaru Nasari Mayachi, 11. The 4 had been reported missing on Monday, February 28, 2022, according to the Pro East District Police Commander, DSP Eric Ariadem, who is also in charge of Pro West District. Tuesday, March 1st, 2022 at 10:30 a.m. Mr. Nashiru Mayachi and the assemblyman of the Konkoma electoral area, Mr. Philip Nyamenkun, came to the Yeji police station and informed the police that the bodies of the missing children had been found in the lake. The SP Ariadem said the police, together with the complainant, proceeded to Konkoma, a community close to the Volta Lake. He said the bodies of the 4 children were found lying in a suspicious position with blood oozing from their nostrils. DSP Ariadem said police inspected the bodies but found no marks of violence on them. He said police retrieved the bodies and had commenced investigation to unravel the circumstances that led the 4 children to drown in the Volta Lake. He said the bodies had been deposited at St. Matthias Catholic Hospital mortuary at Yeji for preservation and autopsy. 3 persons have been arrested for their allegedly burning to death of a 34-year-old TV repairer, Francis Dawson. The incident occurred in October 2021 at Fifi Prat, a suburb of Gomoa, Nyanyano in the central region. The 3, Kwame Mensah, 47, Vernice Shreme, 33, and Rose Kaba, are said to have lured the victim on the dawn of October 17, 2021 to an uncompleted building and subsequently burned him to death. According to the Deputy General Central Eastern Police Commander, ACP Odo Amening, the police had been tracking the suspect for some time before they were apprehended at their hideout in Brekum in the Bono region. Items retrieved from the suspect include 50 hem, 9 mobile phone, SIM card, and some traveling documents. Still on the local news, a Deputy Minister of Finance, Mr. John Ampontia Kuma, has described as Untrue Claiming Month. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Backben, said last week on the floor of Parliament that information available to him suggested that the government might not be able to pay public workers in the next 3 months if critical decisions were not taken. However, Mr. Kuma, who is also the Member of Parliament MP for Ejiso, has refused the claims. He said the government had been able to pay workers during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic and would continue to honor his obligations to public workers. It is not true. Even when COVID-19 hit the country and we were struggling as a country, we still managed to pay all public workers on time, he said. We take a break. When we come back, is the business news. Now moving on to some business news. Carl Bank recorded a marginal 3.9% year-on-year growth in profit in 2021 to 215 million, despite the impact of COVID-19 on the Ghanaian economy, particularly in the first half of the year. Its 2021 audited financial statement has revealed, with the expectation of interest income which is witnessed a decline in growth. It registered growth in all its income lines, net fees and commission and net trading income. The drop in interest income from 519.6 million in 2020 to 465.3 million in 2021 was as a result of a high interest expense on the profitability statement. However, shareholders will enjoy a marginal increase in earning per share. EPS increased from 0.3304 in 2020 to 0.3441 in 2029. Moving on to some international news. Nigerian medical student Jessica Orakpo tells the BBC about her horrend and racism she experienced as she attempted to leave Ukraine following Russia's invasion. Based in the western city of Ternopil, she first tried to reach the Polish border on foot, but in the end she took a train to Hungary. She described the discrimination she and other Africans have faced from Ukrainian officers. Let's take a look at the video.
Begging. The official literally looked me in my eye and said in his language, "Only Ukrainians, that's all. That if you are black, you should walk." I'm currently in Debrecen, Hungary. I got in like 10 a.m. today. Today is the 28th of February. It wasn't easy. On Friday at 8 a.m., I was on my way to Poland. I took a commercial taxi and the taxi couldn't stay on the line of cars because literally cars had been there for 2 days. And when we dropped, on the Google map, it was saying a 1 hour walk. And I was like, a 1 hour walk is nothing, if it's getting us there on time. And we walked and it kept increasing. The term walking is traumatizing me. The term walking, I walked for 12 good hours, and it's not an exaggeration. The traffic warden saw me and said I should go to a shelter to sleep, and I slept. And he said the next day that there is a bus going from that shelter straight to the Polish border. And when it was time to get on this bus, the Ukrainians said, just Ukrainians, literally as a black person. I even lied that I was pregnant. They didn't care. I was begging. The official literally looked me in my eye and said in his language, "Only Ukrainians, that's all. That if you are black, you should walk." And that was an additional 8 hours from where we were. By car, it was like 30 minutes. So we had to walk additional 8 hours. The problem isn't at the Polish border. It is at the Ukrainian border. Because you have to step out at the Ukrainian border to get on the Polish side. And the Ukrainians are only prioritizing their citizens. They don't care. They will push you. They will beat you. If you can make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I took a nap and I still felt like I was still walking, like I hadn't crossed over. It's not fair. Like, we're just begging to go. I literally had to go back to my city after that experience, re-strategize, and took a train to Hungary. It wasn't even easy getting to Hungary. We had to pay. Those that didn't have money to pay, what would they do? I couldn't help anybody because I was fighting for my life. It is a traumatizing experience, and I don't know where I'm going from now. I literally have to re-strategize in Hungary, try to get my ticket back to Nigeria because it's not safe. This place is not, if your skin is dark.
What's Japoma Radio, Adeshima? We take a break from here. Please stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break. Now moving on to some entertainment news. Gospel musician evangelist Dinah Asamoah has dismissed claims that she is dating a younger man. According to her, the man seen in the video she had posted on social media is her brother. This comes after some fans and blogs speculated that she was in a relationship with a young man once the video surfaced on Facebook. While Dinah Asamoah was preaching and interacting with her followers, the young man had attempted to fix her hair. The musician, however, stopped him, asking that he allowed her to finish preaching first. Preaching is important, she said in Chi. And that will be all for the midday news. But before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. Speaker meets Council of State ahead of resubmission of e-levy to Parliament. Staff of 3 state institutions to be prosecuted for misappropriating COVID-19 funds, and 4 children drowned in Volta Lake. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Japoma Radio GH, YouTube King of Kings Media. Download the app on the Google Play Store. I am Josephine Nati. Have a good afternoon and stay tuned.